Let's read and translate Revelation 13, verses 16 through 18. This is the number of the mark of the beast. Let's go. Ke pi pantas tus micrus, ke tus megalus, ke tus plusius, ke tus ptochus, ke tus eleftherus, ke tus dulus, inadosin avtis karagma epitis kyros avton tis dexias I epito metopon avton, ke inami tis dinite agorase I polise imi o echon to karagma to onoma tu theriou, iton arithmon tu onomatos avtu. Ode I Sophia estin, o echon nun psiphisato ton arithmon tu theriou, arithmos gar anthropou estin, ke o arithmos avtu exicosii exiconta ex. So translating it, I'm going to reference my notes here. I do keep notes, mind you. And he, she, or it, so this is talking about the beast, it makes all things, everyone, the small and the great, the rich and the poor, the free and the slaves, in order that they might give to them charagma, there we go. Get the accent right, James. Charagma, a mark on their hand, chiros, and it's their right hand, dexias, or on their metopon, forehead, and not in order that anyone might be able to buy. This is the word agora, except it's the verb agorase, to buy or sell, polise, except or unless the one has the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of the beast, or the number of his name, rather. Arithmon is where we get arithmetic, number. Here is wisdom. The one who has understanding, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is, which is supplied or implied, 666. Now, what's important here is some manuscripts say 666, some manuscripts say 616. So this angled bracket, you've got an open angle and then a closed angle. So this whole phrase, 666, is different depending. So our text includes 666, and that's supported by Sinaiticus. So Sinaiticus has exakosia instead of exakosii. Alexandrinus' text has exakosii, exiconta ex. And that's quoted also by Irenaeus and another church father. One papyrus includes 666, but it's ekakosia deca x instead of exiconta. Another one has ekakosia exiconta pente. Another one has exakosia exiconta x. So which one is it? Well, first and foremost, we need to understand it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the sense of whether it's 666 or 616, both point to Nero in terms of gematria, where each letter is assigned a numerical value. Now, this practice was based on the Hebrew spelling of Nero. And what matters is whether the Hebrew spelling was based on the Latin or the Greek. In Greek, it would be Neron. In Latin, Nero, Caesar. So whether it's in Greek, Neron, Caesar, or Latin, Nero, Caesar, the spelling in Hebrew for the first in Greek would be Nun, Resh, Vav, final Nun, Kaf, Samek, Resh, Neron, Caesar. The Latin would be Nun, Resh, Vav, Kaf, Samek, Resh. So whether you follow the Greek or the Hebrew, you end up with 666 or 616 respectively. It's interesting that the number points to Nero in either way. So in Metzger's textual commentary, it says regarding the 660, they're fairly certain. It's a A rating. They're fairly certain about this, strongly certain. Instead of Exiconta, which is strongly supported by Papyrus 47, Sinaiticus, and a few others, all extant minuscules in the Latin, the Vulgate, the Syriac, Coptic, Armenian, and others. Deca is read by C, some manuscripts known to Irenaeus, who, however, says that 666 is found in all good and ancient copies, and is attested by those who had themselves seen John face to face. Antichonius. According to Tischendorf's 8th edition, the numeral 616 was also read by two minuscule manuscripts that unfortunately are no longer extant. When Greek letters are used as numerals, the difference between 666 and 616 is merely a change from Xi to Yoda. 666 is the same as the letters Chi, Xi, Sigma, and 616 is Chi, Yoda, Sigma. Perhaps the change was intentional, seeing that the Greek form Neron Caesar, written in Hebrew characters, is equivalent to 666, whereas the Latin form Nero Caesar is equivalent to 616. That's all they say in the textual commentary, but they still give it an A rating. So 666 is the version they are confident was original. Now, is the beast actually Nero? The mark of the beast is the opposite of in Numbers when they put the name of the Lord on the people. And this is coming from Dr. Michael Heiser's Revelation commentary, where he explores the Old Testament background of Revelation. So he shows that Numbers 6:23 and following, the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, Thus you shall bless the people of Israel. You shall say to them, The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. So shall they put my name upon the people of Israel, and I will bless them." So it's not literal. It's not a branding, but to bear the name is to represent Yahweh. Indeed, he also points out, quoting someone else actually, quoting Beale and McDonough from their Revelation article within the New Testament use of the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, God told Israel that the Torah was to be as a sign on your hand and as a reminder on your forehead in order to remind them continually of their commitment and loyalty to God. So bearing the name, to quote Michael Heiser here, is the counterpart to followers of Christ bearing the name of Jesus. He quotes, or references rather, 2 Timothy 2:19. This is an alignment of one's believing loyalty to Jesus. The opposite, taking the name of the beast, means willfully aligning oneself with the beast against Jesus. So he points out there is no Old Testament precedent for either the buying or selling association of allegiance to the beast or the number itself. He even points out in a footnote that the number 666 is mentioned in 1 Kings 10:14 as well as 2 Chronicles 9:13 and Ezra 2:13. And he points out that some scholars have tried to make the argument that the 666 is actually a reference to Solomon receiving talents of gold, but he says that this is not persuasive. He identifies Irenaeus believes 666 pointed to or had some relationship to the Nephilim or Titans, where Titan, by gematria, is also 666. The Second Temple Jews saw Nimrod as a Titan, Gabor, and Nimrod was the father of Babylon, and Babylon is associated with the beast in Revelation. So he says, quote, "This concatenation of ideas lacks exegetical merit. Nevertheless, it is true that Second Temple writers did take Gabor in Genesis 10:9 as proof that Nimrod was one of the Nephilim." And as he noted earlier, he's quoting himself here and reversing Herman. The point being made here is not that the Antichrist will be a giant. No biblical or Enochic text draws such a conclusion. Rather, the material indicates that Second Temple Jewish readers of Revelation may have parsed the Antichrist as having a direct association with the fallen Watchers, the classical Titans, and the giants. So he's not making the case that 666 or 616, for that matter, are ties to Nero. Instead, he is making the case that this actually ties in with the so-called fallen angels, the Watchers of Genesis 6. So you tell me, what's the mark of the beast? What do you think it is? How does it relate to the Old Testament? Does it relate to the Old Testament? Let me know in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. Please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and share out the channel and this video, and we'll see you next time.